Republican lawmakers are racing to send President Trump's budget bill to his desk by the end of next week. The legislation is currently being modified in the Senate and will need to be approved by both the upper chamber and the House before it goes to the president for his signature. So can lawmakers meet this Trump-imposed deadline of July 4th? Well, Kansas Republican Senator Roger Marshall is here to help answer that for us. Senator, it's great to see you on a very busy day for you all. So that's my first question is, can you get this done by July 4th? And what exactly are the holdups here, at least on the Senate side?
Well, Caitlin, it's great to be with you. And I'm putting the over-under for the Senate getting their stuff done Sunday at 10 a.m., and then we'll send it to the House and hopefully get it to the president by July the 4th. So that's my best guess. You know, what's the holdups? I think that we have a group of folks that think we're not cutting enough spending and a group that thinks we're taking too many cuts. So we're trying to find that sweet spot. And at the same time, lots of communication going on between our leadership, the House, and the president to find that sweet spot. But we need to do this. This will prevent the largest tax increase in American history. It's going to make the average American family about $1,000 a month more that they'll get to keep.
So it seems like you are supportive of the overall principles of this bill, but do you yourself have any sticking points, things that you need to see in order to see it passed?
Well, look, I've worked really hard. I've been fortunate to be on the Finance Committee, which has probably had the biggest say in this. So I'm probably got 90% of what I wanted, and I'm very willing to vote for it. Look, I wish we could have cut more spending. I think we cut about 1.7 trillion. My biggest concern is this $37 trillion national debt we had. But look, I think the benefits outweigh some of the challenges there. Again, it'll prevent the largest tax increase in American history. It's going to fund the border. It's going to make our military secure. It's going to keep a child tax credit from going from $1,000 to $2,200. So we'll have a $2,200 tax credit, child tax credit, if we pass this bill. More flexibility with Pell Grants. So there's so many great things in it. I'll be able to live with not cutting enough spending.
And Senator, you have expressed support for adding money that would go to rural hospitals. There's a concern that some of these cuts to Medicaid and a change in the provider tax would have an effect on rural hospitals. I know there are a few different proposals out there for allowing some more funding there, but can you explain kind of what's at stake here if this funding isn't achieved?
Right. So first of all, rural America is struggling in general. Rural hospitals are a reflection of that rural economy. So when agriculture struggles, these hospitals struggle. So there's some really good things in this bill to help rural America. Things like to help with crop insurance, a 45Z tax credit. So there's lots of good things in here for agriculture, which will indirectly help those rural hospitals. But specifically, rural hospitals depend more on Medicare, not so much on Medicaid, but I think they need a grant. One of my 3 pillars of MAHA is affordable, meaningful access to health care. And right now, having Medicaid is not the same as access to health care. A third of physicians don't accept Medicaid, and at least another third make it next to impossible to get Medicaid. Now, look, I want to strengthen Medicaid. I want to preserve it. I want to protect it. I want to make sure that people in nursing homes have it, that people on disabilities have it, and children. But Medicaid's not necessarily the answer for rural America. I think some type of a grant where about half the money goes to rural hospitals and the other half to community health centers to make sure that primary care is being delivered.
Well, Senator, I take your point about what you're saying about the Medicaid program, but the provider tax, as it relates to all of this, helps pay for that, and that's going to be scaled back more in the Senate version than the House version. So how can you support something like that and then also say we need these funds for these hospitals?
You know, what we're suggesting we do with this provider tax is the same thing that Barack Obama had in his 2012 and 2013 budget. The provider tax is a scam, to be frank. We have countries making $2.5 billion on it a year. We have states that are getting zero and everything in between. It's simply a scam. Eventually, we need to roll it back to zero and then use more grants like I'm talking about would be much better. Value-based health care, the community health centers is something that will really help deliver better health care. We need to impact the chronic disease epidemic we have in this country. 60% of Americans have a chronic disease. 90% of the money we spend spend in this country on health care is being spent on these chronic diseases. And I think the community health centers are the secret there, that this is a place where let's say you have type 2 diabetes. We're going to teach you how to cook. We're going to help you with what you order, whether you're on SNAP or using typical traditional money. So I want to get in front of this chronic disease epidemic, and that's what's really going to impact the cost of health care.
And, sir, quickly, if I could ask you about Iran. You had said last week that you don't want to see the U.S. involved in any kind of greater conflict here. But I'm curious what you make of the president's decision to strike those nuclear facilities. And are you comfortable with the amount of information that Congress has right now? I mean, these briefings, these intelligence briefings have been pushed back. I understand you'll get one tomorrow. But are you comfortable with what you know, or do you want to know more?
Well, I think this is the most transparent White House you've ever seen. I think you know exactly where President Trump is coming from. Certainly, I talk to the White House almost on a regular basis, not necessarily with President Trump every day, but certainly whether it's Marco Rubio or someone from the White House is talking to us on a very regular basis. I support President Trump 110%. We went in there with a precision strike, mission accomplished. Hats off to the United States Air Force. We do have 50,000 troops over there in the Middle East. This isn't necessarily over. I hope it is. So certainly they're in our thoughts and prayers as well. But I think the president has got an A++ for how he handled all this. The world's safer today than it was a month ago.
All right, Senator Roger Marshall giving us that Sunday at 10 a.m. deadline for the Senate to pass the big, beautiful bill. Thank you very much. We'll hope you join us again soon.
Thank you.